Let's look at some of these Richard Hart posts about Twitter, X, what he feels his reach is and things like that. I know I sent you maybe 10 of them because it was just, honestly, the sentiment was kind of spread out amongst a few posts, but I kind of thought, and then there's also the Grand Inquisitor's post about it. I think that one post that you, I think, had sent me, but if you can find the one about Richard, here we go. Let's see what you got here. Saving his impact. So here we'll just see what we can do. He says the funny part of the X algo is they have no idea what it will actually end up being. So whatever it is now is just going to get changed again and again. So just I guess I should have set this up a little bit better. But there's been debate over the last few weeks about like, is crypto Twitter being censored? Is it just the algo in general sucks? The answer is pretty much yes to the algo. And this, I think Richard nailed it on the head here, is it's always changing. You never have any idea what's going on. Elon or whoever it is beneath him are constantly screwing around with it. That's been the one constant since he's taken over the platform. Now, hey, I think we're all happy that people aren't getting, like canceled left and right on the platform anymore. And it wasn't, it was a safe space only for certain people. And we remember the Twitter file thing that came out a few years ago and stuff like that. I mean, that all is objectively better, but they just won't quit putting their fingers in it and messing things up, which I think we're seeing. And we know, I mean, you look at Richard the last few weeks, he's been trying to gain traction, gain awareness, gain followers. He's done reply guy stuff and everything. And he's obviously frustrated with it. So do you also have the one, unless you have thoughts on this comment by him here, but the one where he says about like trying to maximize his reach because he just can't really do that right now?
Maybe this one. I keep trying different things.
Yep. So he says, I keep trying different things till I find what works. Posting lots of replies just lost me followers, or at least followers were lost with what appeared to be a causal relationship to me providing free content to this platform. I'd rather save my impact for when it hits harder. So yeah, talking about Twitter negatively, that if you want to go down a little bit further, it's kind of reminding me of The Shining, that door thing right there. Okay, yeah. So, and then the Alex Fast. Whoa. Or yeah, that's a baseball personality. Fast Abdul. He says, "Do what works. The video you have pinned has 2.4 million views. Do more of that." Yeah, and there's a lot of sentiment in there. Actually, before we move on to what some other people said, because I also sent you a reply. I don't know if it was to this tweet, but we'll get to it in a moment. What do you make of Richard's comment here, though? Because in terms of his reach at being a personality out there within the crypto space is one thing, but we've also heard about funds potentially being injected into the ecosystem, and why waste that energy when the market overall is just not at that level. It seems like he's kind of talking about the same thing in terms of like appearing, being on stream, tweeting, posting, whatever. Retail isn't here. There's not enough people to listen. It seems like that's what he's saying. So is that a good strategy? Like, don't speak even when there's not a lot of people here? I don't know.
Well, I think so. I think that's kind of what he's saying without saying it. He mentioned that certain entities have tried to buy the price up and people just sell it right back down. He's also trying different things as far as reply guy goes. And I don't know. I should have bookmarked it and I sent it to you. We know the algorithm for X is open source. And there's different point systems. Like if you get a like, it's worth 0.5 points. But if you get comments, it's worth like 13 or 15 points. So crazy how much more the comments that you receive help you with the algorithm as far as likes do, or even reshares is maybe like 5, but comments actually really kick in. So being open source, we know what they are. I wish I would have saved that post to show you guys the crazy difference in what really does affect it. But reply guy Richard, some of his comments though, I could probably see why people unfollowed. He was kind of being a smartass, and but that's always been Richard, kind of cocky, a little bit. I don't know the right word to
I know what
use.
you mean. Just like arrogant and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
a little arrogant, and you know, I think in Richard's mind, he thinks he's being funny, but I think some people get offended or rubbed the wrong way by it. So I can see why that type of mentality or that type of action has lost him followers. Maybe there were people that were following him at one point that are no longer. So yeah, it's changed. You know, the whole scenery has changed a little bit. So yes, while we're very thankful for Elon for obtaining this and saving free speech for the most part, yeah, things have changed. Now, do I think they are shadow banning crypto Twitter? I don't think so. I don't think that's the case at all. There were some posts that were made how they're trying to do away with it, but again, when things get heated up, I don't think it's going to matter. They can try to hide it, but there's going to be so much activity, so many people talking about it that even if they try to shadow ban it, it's not going to work. So I really don't think that is the case. It's just I think you're seeing the result of people have lost interest, and truly, I think that's what it really is more than anything. So
Yeah, I guess to me, it's like I definitely understand not wanting to, you know, pump an ecosystem or anything during these times. But in terms of why not maybe make more appearances or talk more, maybe not do reply guy stuff, but you know, there are probably reasons for that. Do you have okay? So I sent you a reply of somebody who had a very thoughtful and lengthy reply to him. I think in this thread somewhere that Richard actually responded to. Yeah, crypto. I don't know this person. Crypto.
This is Crypto Sparbuck. This is the German guys who were actually part of the very first Hex tour across the country. This is Hex Lion and I forget his name. Either way, he dated Jory.
I guess he doesn't have your respect enough to garner a follow from you, but
well, they got kind of into the whole shilling the oranges and
I think I do remember them now that you're saying it. Yeah, I do remember these guys.
So
yeah.
I unfollowed. I wasn't a fan of what they were trying to push.
You're talking about the Tang Gang? Aren't they still? I see Tang Gang stuff on my feed every day. They're very prominent, very loud. You know, a high fever pitch community. You know. Just kidding. I haven't seen anything from any of them in a very long
exactly. I'm like, well, I don't know because I don't follow them. But either way, that's who these guys are. The German guys.
Okay. But anyway, so he says, "Hi Richard, I track your account since years and analyze your followers since years. One thing, how you're obviously you can tell he's German a little bit.
Yeah.
One thing, how your follower growth was in Twitter Spaces because you speak to an audience that wasn't yours from other X accounts, and people liked what they heard from you because you are smart. They clicked to follow. Give it a try and go to Spaces with another big X account, and mark my words, your follower will raise instantly."
Yeah.
First off, before even looking at his response, I think everybody loved this because it's true. I remember, I mean, I feel like it was in the days, weeks, months after COVID and stuff. Remember that he was like in Spaces talking about a lot of finance stuff, and it was awesome. Like I remember, a couple months back, somebody clipped one of them from one of the conversations with that Mario Narfall or whatever.
Yep.
And that Kim.com guy were always in there.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody clipped something from one of them from like 2021, 2022. And I was like, my God, I forgot how good these were. Like he was just showing up in these spaces and like sounding extremely smart. And I couldn't agree more. Those were awesome times for anybody that missed them. But let's see Richard's response here. He says,
"Oh, sorry. Hang on. Yeah, it was Abit. Abit was Abit Hex. Here. So
yeah.
There's
Richard says, true. So very cool of him to reply, obviously, and agree kind of. He said, I still got to focus outside of this here app because I need to scale like the X dudes hope their app scales, not by trying to scale off their scale. For a dude at my level, sucking this particular middleman D don't work, or it'd be working. Basically, I think CT Crypto Twitter died. So helping... educate victims of dumb crypto Twitter dudes is lower impact because it's just tumbleweeds out there. Useful response to remind me what does work on X though. So that was cool to say. For when things pick up around these parts again, every crypto Twitter influencer is getting pretty bad views and likes.
Yeah,
that's an interesting. I mean, yeah, I get it. Like the reach just isn't there to do that right now. So I do understand that. And his whole thing, I mean, if you think about like the ethos of a lot of the things he's been trying to do over the last few months, is getting outside the echo chamber. Think of the advertising. Like everybody's widely panning, sending out these tablets to people that are not in crypto at all. You know, that may have children and stuff like that. It's a totally different group of people from who's already here. I mean, some, yeah, but I mean, it's not what you expect them to do. Proof X, which we'll talk about in a minute, you know, opening that up to the rest of crypto, and it's not a Pulse Chain centric thing. It's hopefully to get people to Pulse Chain, but it's not just for Pulse Chain. So he's been kind of advocating for these ideas. So anyway, what did you make of this reply and the Twitter Spaces stuff, and then what Richard said back here?
Well, yeah, I thought it was extremely thoughtful. Was happy to see that he did acknowledge that being a good part. Now, again, we kind of just talked about it. That's when everything was heated. When things are like that and things are popping up left and right, it had a lot of impact because Richard is intelligent, and he educated so many people, right? I mean, I still remember that Spaces where it was Richard, Elon was in there as well, and they ended up cutting him off, or they took him off of being a speaker just as he was about to talk to Elon. So that kind of really sucked, and those guys having that much control over it, whatever. Anyway, I'll never forget that he was like this close to having a conversation with Elon, and they yanked yanked him down from being a speaker. So but I do agree. I mean, he's trying to hit bigger outside of just Twitter. It is an echo chamber, no matter how big we think it is, no matter how many millions of people. But you also have to realize there's a lot of people on here that haven't heard of him or Hex or Pulse Chain or any of that. So while he may be trying to reach outside, there is still a whole lot of people inside that can be you know talked to and made aware of this. So I mean, I guess he wants the biggest bang for his buck, pretty much. But at this point, I think you got to start slow. I think you got to kind of work your way back up to that when it becomes useful. So I don't know. It's tough to you know, he's a much better marketer than I am. Obviously, has been doing it a lot more for a lot more years than you know any of us. So I trust what he's doing, and he will keep trying different things until something clicks. I mean, I know that he's pretty determined to get out there. So I agree. I think TikTok, Wall to Wall just said it. He has to get on TikTok.
Wall to Wall's been very active in here tonight. He is definitely praying his massive Pulse Chain bags go up with the rest of us, I think. Well, but yeah, getting on TikTok, very interesting idea. Definitely don't think it'll happen, but
I don't either.
Here's the thing with the TikTok thing. Like, here's what I wonder. And I call me a boomer, whatever you want. Call me sane. I don't have TikTok, never have had TikTok, probably never will have TikTok. Do you think the people that are on there are going to get into crypto? I don't know. It just strikes me as a very
yes, because there's a lot of younger people that are out there that have access to a lot of these things with their phones. You have to remember what happened last cycle. Kids were talking about Robinhood at 13, 14 years old, having portfolios, and it was crazy. That's the type of situation that we get when retail actually comes in. Like it or not, these kids are more technological than some of the older people. You get enough of that group, that genre, it does make a huge impact. And that's when the green candles start to come for other people to see them and be like, oh, this could be a good buy. You know, that's when the bigger candles hit then. So it takes a lot of smaller candles, a smaller group, I think, to get excited, to get invested together, which brings the smaller green candles, which then in turn brings the bigger investors and the bigger candles. So just my opinion, I think something like TikTok would work. You know, a lot of people have been trying this though. I mean, they've been taking a lot of his stuff, chopping it up into smaller videos and reposting it. It just doesn't hit the same when it's not him. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess my thing is just, do the people on there have money? Are they thinking about investing? You know, I don't know. I mean, I literally don't know. I'm not saying yes or no, but and then DJ Moonboy brings up a good point too. Is he limited to what he can and should be doing? I mean, that's another point that we've brought up before too. What do you think about that?
Well, we don't know, right? We don't know what legal implications there still are. You know, we do know there's still a red notice out there. But that's all the further we know. You know, he would not answer questions about it, even when he was taking questions for the one video that he was doing and then answering them. He wouldn't answer anything about it. He said, I don't want to talk about it. I'm assuming the lawyers are still fighting it out, battling it out. You know, when these countries want tax money, whether it's rightfully theirs or not, I don't know that you can just get things dropped. I would imagine if there's a educational trust or something like that set up in a different country, you would think that would be pretty easy to prove, right? And say, well, this doesn't belong to him or you, or you're not entitled to it. Case closed. You would think it could be as simple as that, but again, I don't know how involved it is, or you know, what it entails to get something like that removed.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. It is interesting, though. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the Twitter algo and with crypto as a whole, not just our age, but it's interesting to see him experiment with it. Obviously, everybody wants him back, streaming, having his face all over everything. But we had 2019 to 2021 when retail was here. The business cycle was amazing. There was money printing in droves. We are just not in that atmosphere, even remotely. You know, we have not been. It's been a quantitative tightening last 4 years. It's been a low business ISM business cycle last 4 years. Yeah, or not the whole 4 years, but for the last 2 to 3 years anyway. So we just gotta wait on it. But yeah, I would definitely like to see more of RH, but I do also understand capitalizing whenever the time is, you know, when the wind is in your sails too. So